Lowe's knows July 4th savings are worth celebrating. Right now, get up to 40% off select major appliances and get an additional 10% off 2 or more select major appliances. Plus, get 3 Scott's Naturescapes 1.5 cubic foot mulch bags for just $10. These deals are coming in hot. Lowe's, we help, you save. Valid through 7/9. Selection varies by location. While supplies last. See Lowe's.com for more details. Excludes Alaska and Hawaii.
Welcome to Bedtime Astronomy. Explore the wonders of the cosmos with our soothing Bedtime Astronomy podcast. Each episode offers a gentle journey through the stars, planets, and beyond, perfect for unwinding after a long day. Let's travel through the mysteries of the universe as you drift off into a peaceful slumber under the night sky. This week in astronomy, SPHEREx, dark dwarfs, and an interstellar object. SPHEREx, NASA's new telescope, maps the entire sky in infrared. NASA recently launched a new space telescope called SPHEREx, which started its mission in March. This telescope is now orbiting the Earth and has begun scanning the entire sky to create a massive, detailed map of the universe. What makes this mission special is that SPHEREx sends the data it collects to a public archive every week. That means anyone, scientists, students, or curious people, can use this information to explore space and study how the universe works. SPHEREx stands for Spectrophotometer for the History of the Universe, Epoch of Reionization, and ICE's Explorer. It looks at the sky using infrared light, a type of light that's invisible to our eyes but very useful in space science. Unlike some past missions, like NASA's earlier WISE telescope, which used 4 infrared wavelengths, SPHEREx observes the sky in 102 different infrared wavelengths. This gives scientists a much more detailed view. By using all of these wavelengths together, researchers can detect the presence of specific molecules in space through a technique called spectroscopy. This allows them to study where frozen water and organic molecules, ingredients important for life, are located in the Milky Way galaxy. These are key pieces of the puzzle for understanding how stars, planets, and possibly life itself begin to form. But that's not all SPHEREx can do. Scientists will also use the data to investigate what caused the universe to expand after the Big Bang and how much light all the galaxies have emitted over time. Because the data is made public, scientists around the world can study many different things that go beyond what the original SPHEREx team could cover by themselves. NASA is committed to open science, which means they want everyone to have access to the data. So, SPHEREx sends its data to a public archive within 60 days of collecting it. In that short time, the SPHEREx team processes the data, they clean it up, correct technical issues from the detectors, and make sure everything is properly aligned with the stars and galaxies in the sky. Over its 2-year main mission, SPHEREx will scan the entire sky twice a year, making 4 full sky maps in total. After 1 year, they plan to release a full map showing the sky in all 102 infrared wavelengths. The data from SPHEREx is especially useful when combined with other space missions. For example, it can help NASA's James Webb Space Telescope choose better targets to study. It can also improve the accuracy of planet data from the TESS mission, and support research into dark matter and dark energy when used with the European Space Agency's Euclid mission or NASA's future Roman Space Telescope. All this data is stored in NASA's IRSA archive, Infrared Science Archive, which already holds information from past space missions. Together, this creates a rich collection of space data that researchers can use to explore all kinds of cosmic mysteries. SPHEREx is now part of NASA's long tradition of space surveys. As one scientist said, people are going to find all sorts of creative and surprising ways to use the data, many of which we can't even imagine yet. Dark dwarfs may reveal the true nature of dark matter. Some scientists think there might be a new kind of object hidden in the center of our galaxy. These mysterious things are called dark dwarfs, and they could help explain one of the biggest mysteries in the universe, what dark matter really is. A group of researchers from the UK and Hawaii wrote a paper about these dark dwarfs. They believe we could find them using powerful telescopes we already have, like the James Webb Space Telescope. They gave them the name dark dwarfs because of their strong connection with dark matter, not because they are actually dark in appearance. Dark matter is a strange kind of matter that makes up about 25% of the universe. We can't see it because it doesn't give off light, but we know it's there because of the way it affects gravity. Even though scientists have studied it for decades, nobody knows exactly what it is. That's why research like this is exciting. It might give us clues. There's a popular idea that dark matter is made of very heavy particles that don't interact with normal matter. These particles are called WIMPs, weakly interacting massive particles. They're invisible and silent, but they do have gravity. If dark matter is made of WIMPs, then it might be possible for some stars to catch and hold them. If enough of this dark matter builds up inside a star, the particles might destroy each other, annihilate, which releases energy and makes the star shine. Regular stars, like our Sun, shine because of nuclear fusion in their cores. But that only happens when a star is big enough. If a star is too small, like only 8% the size of our Sun, it can't start fusion. These small stars are called brown dwarfs, and they're usually very dim. But if a brown dwarf is in a place with lots of dark matter, like the center of the galaxy, it could collect enough of it to start glowing, not because of fusion, but because of the energy from the dark matter inside it. When that happens, it's no longer just a brown dwarf, it becomes a dark dwarf. This only works if dark matter is made of the heavy, self-interacting kind, like WIMPs. Other ideas for dark matter, like axions or ultralight particles, wouldn't work because they're too light and can't create the same energy inside stars. The scientists also thought of a way to tell if something is a dark dwarf and not just a normal brown dwarf. They say to look for lithium-7, a special version of lithium. Regular stars burn through lithium-7 quickly, so if we find a glowing object with lithium-7 still in it, it could be a sign that it's a dark dwarf. Telescopes like James Webb might already be able to spot these dark dwarfs, especially if we look at groups of faint stars and study their patterns. If we find one or more dark dwarfs, that would be a strong clue that dark matter is made of WIMPs or something very similar. We still wouldn't be 100% sure what dark matter is, but it would narrow it down a lot. Finding a dark dwarf wouldn't solve the whole mystery, but it would be a big step forward in understanding this invisible part of the universe. Late on July 1, 2025, astronomers watching the skies with an asteroid warning system spotted something unusual. A big, bright object was moving quickly through the solar system. It immediately caught the attention of scientists around the world because it looked like it might have come from outside our solar system. The next day, the European Space Agency confirmed that this object, first called A11PL3Z and later renamed 3I/Atlas, really did come from beyond the solar system. It's only the third object ever found that isn't originally from our solar neighborhood. 3I/Atlas is very large, about 20 kilometers wide, and although it won't come close to Earth, it's still very interesting. Scientists believe it could help explain how planets form in other solar systems and give more insight into the other two interstellar objects that were found before, Oumuamua and 2I/Borisov. Each of those had very different features. Oumuamua didn't have a tail and moved in strange ways that weren't fully explained by gravity. Borisov looked more like a regular comet but still had unusual parts in its makeup. Everyone expected the next object to look like one of those, but 3I/Atlas doesn't look like either. That surprised and excited scientists. This object is much brighter than the others and is also much farther away, yet telescopes can still see it clearly. That's because it's so big. Since it's visible from far away, astronomers will have more time to study it than they did with Oumuamua or Borisov. It's also moving very fast, which makes it even more unusual. At first, scientists weren't sure if it was really from outside the solar system. Sometimes things seem interesting at first, but as more information comes in, they turn out to be less exciting. But in this case, as more data was gathered, experts became more convinced that it really is interstellar. They could tell by looking at how the object moves. One of the main things that tells astronomers if something came from another star system is its orbit. Most objects in the solar system travel in circles or stretched out circles, called ellipses. But if an object travels in a way that never loops back and instead shoots off into space, that's called a hyperbolic orbit. It means the object is not tied to the sun's gravity and didn't come from this solar system. Scientists can figure this out by watching how fast the object is moving and comparing its position to the stars in the background. As they get more data, they update their understanding of its path through space. Interstellar objects like 3I/Atlas are special because they are leftovers from how other solar systems formed. In our own solar system, small objects like asteroids and comets have taught us a lot about how planets were created. If we study an object from another system, we can learn how that system was different or similar to ours. Scientists are still trying to figure out what kind of object 3I/Atlas is. It might be a comet, like Borisov, or it might behave strangely like Oumuamua. If it turns out to be a comet, they will want to know if it contains ice. Ice tells scientists a lot about where the object came from. If the object still has ice, it probably didn't spend much time near a star, because the heat would have melted it. That would mean the object formed far from its star and was possibly pushed out by a giant planet, like Jupiter or Neptune. In the end, this object might help scientists understand more about other parts of the galaxy. It's still early, but many telescopes are already focusing on it. In the coming days and weeks, scientists hope to gather much more information and possibly unlock new secrets about how planets form in distant solar systems.
Lowe's knows July 4th savings are worth celebrating. Right now, get up to 40% off select major appliances and get an additional 10% off 2 or more select major appliances. Plus, get 3 Scott's Naturescapes 1.5 cubic foot mulch bags for just $10. These deals are coming in hot. Lowe's, we help, you save. Valid through 7/9. Selection varies by location. While supplies last. See Lowe's.com for more details. Excludes Alaska and Hawaii.